Seat goes up, seat goes down. Seat goes up, seat goes down. Hey folks, we are back with another video, and today we are going to be working on a PNW Loam dropper post. So just like most modern cartridge-based dropper post, very easy job. Basically, we're just going to open it up, re-grease everything, make sure everything's okay, and close it back up, all right? So hopefully this will be a quick job. One thing that I will mention before opening anything up is make sure you check under your seat that there's no chunks of dirt stuck in there. This one actually had a significant amount. I already cleaned it because the last thing you want is dirt getting into the tube. All right. So next up, let's go into the tools that will be needed for the job. So not many tools needed. One, to open up the post, we are going to need either a 14mm wrench or an adjustable wrench. Both work just as fine. A plastic pick preferred if you have one, and a 2mm Allen. A dowel, because we will be needing it to clean out the inside of the lower half of the post, and alcohol. That's it. Let's open her up. I'm assuming that you don't have any issues with your post, right? In other words, by issues, I mean, if you press down on it, it sags. If you do, try putting air in there. If that doesn't solve it, then basically you got a bad seal on the inside of your post. You need to get that dealt with. That would be in the internal cartridge. All right. So, outside of that, there shouldn't be all that much. Okay, so we're going to start off by taking off the collar, loosening it and picking it up. Boom. Right, then we're going to take our 14mm and we're going to open up. I'd already cracked this guy open, to be honest, and we're going to just take this guy off, loosen him, and lift this guy up, and you will see a couple of screws. There they are. Those are 2mm that are covered in grease right now. There's a lot of grease in here, man. Too much grease in here. There we go. Two, and now this guy should come on. Okay. We're going to take him, we're going to put him on the side. We're going to take this piston, we're going to put him on the side, take the screws, going to put him on the side, and we're going to take the bumper, and we're going to put that on the side. It's got two bumpers, or is it cut? Weird. Okay, now we're going to open this guy up. So as you can see, it's pretty dark. He definitely could use a new grease job. So now you have the adjustable height shim. We're going to take that, be careful with it. We're just going to move it out, put it on the side. Then we're going to take out the pins. The pins use plastic. One. Then we have the bottom pins, two. It's actually a smart design, that having the pins separated like that. I think it would give it more stability. Another pin. And the third pin. And this third pin. Okay, now we're going to take out the bottom bushing. Should be a split ring more than anything. Where are you? There you are. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. And now we take this guy off. And now it's a question of cleaning, because obviously there's a lot going on over here. It's really dirty. I don't know what kind of grease this is. Okay, so essentially what we're going to do is we're going to clean everything. Remove all that old grease. Okay, grab some alcohol, spray it down on everything. Fresh paper towel. Make sure you get inside the grooves. All right. Put him on the side. Then we take this guy. Make sure you clean the cup real well, because this is where dirt collects. On the inside of this wiper, you really want to get everything from in there. It's sort of concave, right? So we want to clean that real well, because there might be some granulated bits in there that we want to remove. See what I mean by it looks like it could be clean, but it's not? Sometimes fingers don't get in there that well, right? So let's break up the old oil. Let's clean the threads out real well too, so she screws on nicely. Get a little seat over there, clean the seat. Just clean the inside of this thing fully. All right. This guy is looking good. Done. Let's clean the bushing. Take off any old grease. Done. Clean this bush, clean the adjuster. Take off any old grease, make sure there's no dirt on it. Clean underneath here. So the whole goal over here is to make sure we remove any kind of dirt that might have crept in. That's why it's important to do this quite often. I try and do it minimum twice a year. It's real easy. And the reality is, to remove them from the bike, you don't have to really take out the entire cable. That's what I love about these new dropper posts. All you have to do is really remove the remote and then guide the cable to give yourself slack, cable into the frame in order to give yourself slack to pick up the post itself, and then just loosen the nut, and it'll give you enough slack just to take out the little, the cable top, the cable head, to disconnect it from the actuator, right? This guy is a greasy mess, and this guy does not need to be this greasy whatsoever. There's no point for this guy to be greasy. The only grease this guy needs is going to be in that joint. That's it. Everything else is a waste, and ultimately gives it room for dirt to stick to. Okay. Clean. Let's clean the rubber washer or rubber seal. All right. Done. Clean the pins. Oh, did I just shake the camera? Sorry about that, folks. Come on, stop. There we go. Pin 1. Pin 2. Pin 3. Small pin 1. Small pin 2. And small pin 3. All right. Let's wipe this guy down. Let's clean the table a little bit. It's a bit of a mess. Some sticky ass stuff. We don't need grease on that. We don't need grease on this. Okay. Let's clean the grease off of these guys, and then it's just a question of the tube, and we start putting it together. As for the tube, so fill them up with alcohol, let it break down everything. Let's take this dirty stuff, put it through first before we put in clean ones. All right, and this is where the dowel comes in handy. Ooh. Oh, not too bad. So the goal over here is you want to clean the guides on the inside, right? So there's guides on the inside. You want those to be as clean as possible. You don't want anything on them. So spray down alcohol. Bunch up. Try and make a lot of corners as you bunch it up, so the corners can sort of make their way into those guides as we push them down. Right? Don't put it into a complete ball. Okay. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, he's completely spotless. Holy cow. So let's clean the threads. So he goes back on easy. Let's clean the bottom threads. So the bottom goes on easy. And we are ready for assembly. I'm going to clean up and let the camera cool off, and I will be back. All right, so this is everything disassembled and everything in order as far as reassembly. Now, one thing that I didn't mention before is that there is a seal at the top part of the lower tube, right? So just make sure to remove it, clean it real well, and clean the groove in here. Again, make sure to clean your threads well, right? I mean, try and take out all debris that is in here, including these threads. The better you clean them, the better contact you will have, okay? So first, we're going to start off with the collar. Now, as for the collar, what I try and do is, the wiper is concave. I try and fill up that concave part with grease. Try and make it flat even. All right, just like that. Cool. Okay, so then we're going to take the wiper. Now some grease will end up at the bottom, but that's okay, because we are going to take this grease now and we're going to stuff our pinholes. So our pins stick in there. All right. Okay. Next, we will put on our travel adjuster. Okay. Take a little bit of grease onto the shaft. All right. Now we put in our pins. Start with the small pins, or we could do them one at a time just like this. Now that we have grease in there, they will stick in, making life a little bit easier. Make sure they're sitting in the socket and not sticking out. All right. Next, we put in our bushing. A little bit of grease around here too. Doesn't hurt. All right. Put our bushing. Now, this is a guide. Put the guide towards the back. And we'll explain that when we close them up. Now, we have our seal over here. Put a thin coat of grease on him just to protect him. Right? Don't put a lot of grease on him. And then slide him over into his seat right at the bottom, right there. Okay? So, this is the rear of the post. This is the front of the post. Front meaning this points to the seat front. This shows from the rear of the bike, right? So there's a guide right down the rear of the post. We're going to use this as our guide in order to make sure it's aligned properly and goes to the rear. Watch you don't knock out your, you might have to jiggle a little bit just like that. Watch you don't knock out your pins. Now, our travel adjuster has a notch on it right there. And if you notice, over here you have numbers, 0, -5, -15, -25. So 0 means that you get all your drop, -5 means you lose 5 millimeters of your drop, 15 millimeter drop, 25, exactly, right? So we're going to take that notch in this case and we're going to put it in the 0, just like that, okay? So now we have our piston. Flat side goes in, bottom side sticks out. Now we're going to put a little bit of grease on the bottom side, just like that. Okay. Now we're going to take our bumpers. Oops. Just like that. Now we take our actuator, put the plastic bumper on it. Okay. What we need to do is put in our screws. Always thinking too far ahead. Take our 2mm, tie these guys all the way down. Make sure they make it to the end. Now we take them, tie them down, and again, do not over torque them, just snug. Done. Now, again, make sure he falls in his notch. 0, in my case. Slide this guy down, put him in there, and this guy also snug. You could just do it hand tight, you don't need to torque him down. Right? You don't need to go crazy on them. Just give it a really good twist with some grip. And done. Now, clean all the exposed grease. And that is assembly. Now we can test them if we want to, just to make sure everything's cool. Put something under the actuator, just lift it up, just like that, right? And push down, and put them on an angle. Oh, it definitely works. Boom. 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 Ta-da! There you have it. A fully serviced PNW Loam dropper post. Real easy job, guys. Worth your time. I would recommend doing it at least once a year. If you ride a good amount, then twice a year. If you ride a lot, then do it 3 times a year. I mean, you're only helping yourself. 1, you're saving your post. 2, it'll just feel better overall. And it's an easy job, really. I mean, today's posts are great. They don't take much time at all, right? One thing I would recommend is, considering what I do is I fill up the wiper here pretty well. For your first few rides, 3, 4, maybe 6 rides, depending on how much grease you put in here, some grease is going to want to come out. So just, you know, grab a towel and keep it clean after every ride, so dirt doesn't collect on it and get inside, right? So eventually, after a few rides, it'll go away. You will not see as much grease come out of there as you will in the first few rides. Well, if you like the video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, please give it 2 thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. Click the bell, bing, 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 if you want to get warned on when videos release. And looking forward to making more videos. Have many more videos to come. All right. Hope all's well with everybody. We will talk to you soon. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.